What happens when you put three couples in a room, each with their own unique journey and years of experience, and you ask the hard questions on love and marriage? Well, we're about to find out.
Welcome. I'm your host. My name is Danielle. We have a very interesting topic to talk about today, but before that, we're gonna do some introductions. If we can start on this side.
Hello, I'm Ebuka.
I'm Tobi.
My name's Mark. Cassie's husband.
Yeah, everybody knows me.
Hi, I'm Tomi.
And I'm Chioma.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you guys. So the topic of discussion is based around married, and I'm assuming you guys are all married couples here.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna jump right in here with the first question. So did you ever experience any apprehension or fear about being married or about getting married?
Ooh.
I'm not sure if
I know you started rush. Like, this is hot.
off the bat.
Straight into
Jumping
it.
right into
I mean, I can go first. I can nominate myself.
Okay.
Definitely I did. Because, marriage is, for me, the concept of marriage is something that's for life.
Yeah.
And you have to be very careful when you get into it with. So, I was very apprehensive when I had to talk to a couple people who had done it before. I just tried to get out my headspace. I eventually did, so that's why I'm here.
You made it here.
I definitely did feel apprehension.
Okay.
I'll definitely say, I did have some apprehension.
I think every guy possibly.
You guys are
I think every guy possibly does. Because you already know the responsibility, the tolerance, the patience,
Emphasis on patience.
the financial capacity that you need to have before you say yes, you want to have a life partner. And then at the back of your head, you're thinking divorce is not an option. So I definitely did have apprehensions as well, 100%.
Okay.
How about the ladies?
I want to hear one more of the man.
Okay. Honestly, yes. It was a lot of apprehension. In the sense that I think like a while ago I thought about the fact that everything I was doing in my life, going to school, being well mannered, everything was all geared towards being a responsible husband and father. So for me it felt like it's something that if I get wrong, it's like a critical piece. Something that if you get wrong, everything is for nothing. And I'm someone I grew up and was raised to be super intentional about a lot of things. So
I think it's that saying where they say if you marry wrong, you're finished. If you marry right, you're complete.
I've never heard of that.
I've actually heard of that as well, but
then if you marry bad, you're completely finished.
Maybe we should put it down here.
marry bad, completely finished.
So what about the ladies really quick? Any fear or apprehensions?
Okay, I nominate myself to go first. I actually did. And it's funny because I've never been the girl that looked forward to marriage. Like I just wanted to be a baby girl, and if it happens, it happens and stuff. And then when he became very serious, I'm like, just living your single life and plugging it into somebody else's life that is not your family, like your direct siblings or whatever. It's almost like I had a lot of, we had to do a lot of counseling, a lot of talking, a lot of intentional, just trying to, even no matter how you plan, you try to vision our future. Even though, we can all say that visioning it and it's coming to life are two different things. Because marriage is a different ball game. But I had just a bit of apprehension, but it gets easier when you're with a solid person.
God, when?
Wow.
My Jenga.
I think for me, I didn't really have much apprehension. I think I definitely understand what you say about kind of like that mourning your single life. And I think right before our wedding, I experienced that. It wasn't really apprehension because I felt like we'd been together and I kind of was looking forward to this next stage of life. But it was more of that, like, you have to, like, just preparing yourself to, like, not only think about yourself. And it's very different, like, being single or even engaged and, like, being married and constantly being with someone. You also have to, like, consider them a lot more than you ever did before. So I definitely understand. I think there was a time I was like, I feel like I have to mourn my singleness. I don't think you understood what I meant, but I think a lot of women go through that same thing.
Yeah.
I think for me, I wouldn't say I was afraid of getting married. It was more the wife title. Because I remember I was asking my friends, so now what happens? So now I'm a wife, so now what happens? So it's like, yeah, like, okay. Am I supposed to be a certain way? Like, am I supposed to change? I think that was it. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I think, like, culture and socially expected to be a little bit different, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, after our Chad wedding, he went back to his hotel and I went back to, like, our grandparents' house. And our driver was like, so you're not following your husband? I'm like, no, he just married.
You're supposed to follow your husband.
I went back to my house. Yeah, so it was just like, we've been married for what, 20 minutes. You're already asking me.
Yeah.
Am I like, I was like, okay, wow.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why a lot of people are afraid of marriage, because there's this social construct on set that they just expect you to start acting different.
A way to carry yourself.
Exactly. I think that's what I'm married woman.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm married woman.
Why are you wearing that short dress? Skirt. Hey.
Why hanging out with your friends all the time? Why traveling? You should be at home taking care of your husband. I know a married woman.
This is a good intro to our next question. So, how did you know when you were ready for marriage?
I think we'll let ladies go first.
Why are you telling me?
I think for me, you know that it's cliche, but when you're with the right person, I know it's cliche, you definitely know. Like, there's this ease that comes with it. There's this, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like once you experience it before you like know, and once I had that, it was easier to actually think of,
Like, envision it.
exactly the future and stuff. So yeah.
When we did our
Go ahead.
when we did our counseling, that was one question they kept on asking us. You know,
I do not.
and I was like, well, I guess I like him. Like, I was like, what are you saying? I don't know, honestly. I just knew that I was ready because everything just seemed right. I was like, what are we still doing?
Yeah, to be honest, there is, you know, when there is like a conviction without any fears. That's how I knew. Like, you just know that, okay, what else am I doing? And there's no longer fear of, oh shit, what if she breaks up with me? Oh shit, what if, like, all the fears that you always had about marriage just disappears. Then you know that, this is the person, this is the moment, let's do it.
I think mine was more like a combination of both, because I got to a point where I'm like, okay, I mean, obviously, if we're doing this, first of all, I entered this relationship with the intention that this is leading to marriage, but then got to the point where I was like, okay, I mean, this is the next logical thing. And like we said, I did have my fears, and I had to go speak to an older friend of mine, and he gave me like this. He's like, look, just think about ABC. And I was like, wow. Yeah, there goes fears out the window, done. So let's just do it.
What were those ABC?
So I think his question was, you need to just ask yourself 3 questions. First one is, do you see yourself staying with this person forever? Because forever is a long time. Stay with them forever the way they are right now. We expect that people will change, but don't go into the expectation that this person will change immediately. So, are you able to stay with this person if they don't change for the rest of their life? And I think the last one was, do you think this is someone who is teachable? Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know what, 1, 2, 3. And it's like everything else is just a nice to have.
Yeah.
Those are the must-haves, and if you can answer yes to those, then
Interesting. Alright, so
sorry. Yeah, so I think for me it was the exact same thing. I had this discussion with my dad and with my brother. And before I had the discussion, like within me, I had to. One thing I always try to do before I do anything is, and she gets tired of it. For every time I want to do anything, the first and last question I ask myself is why. And if I don't have enough answers to the why this person, why now, why, till I get those answers, then I will now go to get counseling to get other people's advice. So I had the whys. And then I went on to get other people's advice. And for me, the first two people in my life, it's my dad and my brother, and I have discussions with them, and then
Nice. All right, so next question here. Reflecting on your marriage, what values or insights do you possess now that you wish you had in the early months of your marriage?
There's a long list, so I'll show you. I think obviously the one that everyone that is married, both men and female, will tell you is that store of patience. That store of patience is like, that's the first thing you wish the store was longer in the beginning, because you find that 80% of what was causing problems was just not being patient enough to first step out of it and calm everything down before going back into it. I think that's one of the first things. And leaning on that is being able to quote unquote deprioritize yourself. Just to ensure that things are settled, and then you can go back and sort it out. Because you find that if you get into, at least for us in the early months, we got into a lot of back and forth. It's not like it was every day, but we had this. And half of it was just because I'm seeing things my way, you're seeing things your way. And no one is willing to stop and listen. Okay, then how are you actually seeing things? So if we had a whole lot more of that in the beginning, I think that,
be less conflict.
we'd have been a whole lot better.
I think I'll add to that. I'll say communication.
I was just gonna say that.
Personally, I struggle with communication. Something might bother me. I can tolerate it. Let me sweep it under the rug. It doesn't bother me. And then it happens again. I can tolerate. Then one day something unrelated happens. I'm like, she's there. She's like, why did you tell me when that one happened? Like, this wouldn't even be all these issues right now. So I think for sure, communication. So sometimes it's not even just the patience. It's on the male side, they're not 100%
telling it,
just
what the issue
you just feel like, you want to be tolerant, and that's why they're actually not communicating.
But I think you can be tolerant and communicate at the
true.
same time, because I think that there's ways to convey the message in a loving and kinding way that you're accepting it, and it's how you're communicating it to that person. So for me, if you do something, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you as it is, right? It may not be that very moment, but probably that day, I'm going to tell you, or the next day. And I'm not upset, but I just need you to understand how this thing made me feel, or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to tell you. And I think it was very different. I'm like, I did this thing, and I had no clue.
It's a thing that you struggle with that.
Yeah, I mean it comes with being strong.
It comes with the African tradition of being strong.
Being strong means you just absorb it and just carry on. But then if it's with strangers or people, let's say you're driving, someone bash your car. The same person won't bash your car every time. Or that many times in a month. But in your house, the same person.
It's gonna be like 5 minutes interval, just back to back.
But then, so being outside in public is a different. Being strong in public is different from being strong at home. So being strong at home, what I've learned is it's more of a case of how you come outside. It might not be the same bad guy that bash your car, so it's different people. One day it will happen, and then that person will now take the fall for everybody. Or in your house, it's the same person back to back. So the day you take it and pour out on the person, and then the person's like,
So then
what I learned with being strong is more about not just absorbing everything, but thinking about it and then being very intentional about how you feel, and knowing knowing that there's big things, there's small things, you have to deal with everything, but then you have to prioritize and be very intentional and careful and caring about how you express yourself. You should express yourself, but then you should have that maturity and that sensitivity about how to express yourself. Like what you said, it might not be in the moment, but then as soon as possible, as soon as you're able to gather
Convey
your
that
thoughts, convey it with love.
Let me just add to that. For me, something I would have, or I have now, that I wish I had when I just got married is picking my battles and just speaking about everything. I remember then,
everything.
you know when they say, oh, you have to communicate everything, as like communicate, effective communication and everything. And back then, every day it's almost like, oh, I don't like it. So now it turns to like every day you have an issue.
Yeah.
So now, 2 years in, I'm like, okay, there are some things I'm like, okay, this is really good. What? Yeah, exactly. So I just pick.
Yeah.
I wish I had that earlier, because then it's almost like, okay, it's almost like it now becomes like maybe a nitpicking. So now it's just like having the picking at your discretion. Oh, this is not worth it. Okay, this is worth it. This is, and I think it really helps. It saves a lot of.
I think that's very true as well, especially for me that I will tell you as it is.
Yeah.
I think there was probably a time it felt like every day.
You bring wrong.
Picking your battle, I think that's a solid one for sure.
I'd say so.
Sure. Yeah.
I think for me, my friend actually told me, she was like, are you this person's Lord and personal savior? I'm like, no. Then why are you trying to change every single thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, not Jesus Christ, just
allow.
free and do the ones that you can do and just let everything else go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I still stress you over some things. But don't worry, in 2 years time I'll have changed again.
That's what's up.
Okay, we have an interesting question up next. This is for the men. What does being the head of the household mean to you in your marriage?
When you have the answer, please tell me.
I think I have an idea. So truth is this. Men are actually not the head of the household.
Facts, 100%.
Any man that they'll tell you be the head of the, my guy, you are not the head of the household. You are just the supposed head of the household. But guess what? 2 things I'll say. One is, you are supposed, as the head of the household, it means decisions lie with you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're supposed to make all decisions alone.
Yeah.
And that also doesn't mean you're supposed to agree with any suggestion from your partner.
Yeah.
They are both supposed to communicate, discuss it, pros, cons, and then decide. If there's a suggestion, oh yeah, I think so too. The woman actually expects you to make the final decision. Right? So in that sense, that's what it means. She might say it, oh, I don't like this pillow. Right? But that's her telling you, we need to get this pillow. You're not hearing, you like the pillow. I like the pillow, but she doesn't like it. So it's just like, oh yeah, I actually don't like it. It's white and black. Yeah, I also don't like it. Then you have to now make decision. Are we changing the pillow or not?
Yeah.
So that's what it entails to be the head of the household. Nothing more.
Yeah. I think he has encapsulated it, but the other word I'll use is, as head of house, you are a servant leader.
Yeah.
You know, your job is to support, coach, try to formulate the culture and behaviors you want in your home. But it's not do this and this is it. No,
it's not a dictatorship.
And you truly don't have power.
You don't have power. You have zero power. You're like a messenger, like do this. You get it done. That's all. That's what it means to be in the head of the household.
At least for you guys.
Why I say it's like is this. I feel you have power, but then, like any person that has written or has said anything wise about power, it's power also has it first starts with you having power over yourself. So until you have control over yourself, then you will not be able to effectively influence other people.
Yeah.
So I feel as the head of the house, what you really do is influence people. Because I mean, for me, my experience growing up was, I can count the number of times my dad ever beat me, and I was a very stubborn child. Or raised me. Yeah, but I was super stubborn. But then you would hardly hear him raise his voice at anybody. You know, sometimes, you know how people say, when your mom looks at you, my dad is the kind of person that there's a way his eyes are when he looks at you, you know that, okay, I need
to reset.
See what's wrong and fix it, you know. So, but then, yeah, but he never, like, it was never a thing of force or trying to lord anything over you. Most of the time, we learned from him just by seeing him do what he did, you know. So, as the father, as the husband, the whole idea is, and then as a Christian, you know, the model is just like Christ did. He came, he didn't just come, he could have come to earth, lived 3 years and just died on the cross and sins will be forgiven. But he understood that influence. He did not use force, you know. He modeled what it means to be Christian for 3.5 years, and then now died. That's like what you guys say, you don't have the power, but you actually have the power. But then the strength there is in being able to curtail the power and influence the love.
So I'm a bit confused. I take pride in the fact that he's very intelligent, but in summary, what does it mean to you? Because I feel like I missed that.
So what it means to be the head of the home is to set the vision, is to form the vision, but then how you now take it, or how it affects your decisions or your choices. That is now where you and your partner come together, because I mean, we're all human beings. That's why you have to be two. Then two people you're able to see from different perspectives, and then you bring your best, I bring my best, and then we're automatically better.
That's a very good summary.
That's a very
and that's actually right.
That is self-leadership. You can direct, but no, you choose to lead, set the vision, and then collaborate with everyone.
Solid guy.
We're gonna take a 2-second break.
This is the point where I ask you to please like, share, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you.
Okay, so kind of on the same lines as the previous question, but now this one's for the wives. How do you interpret the idea of respecting your husbands?
I love it. Respecting your husband.
Who's going first?
I think that for me, it's respecting his decisions sometimes.
Why do you look confused?
No,
She wants to make sure that what she says is matching reality.
No, wait. No, but for real. There are sometimes, at least in the beginning, right? There's some things that he would say, and I'm like, no, let's do it like this. But sometimes he says some things like, oh, this is what we're going to do. And to respect or honor him, I'm like, okay, sure. Let's go with it, you know. At least for me, that's what I see.
So what's the ratio?
I think that's a really hard thing for women to learn, especially in relationships. I think we're always right. We don't like to fully see from their perspective. That's something a lot of women have to grow from, which I had to learn too.
Sorry, what was the question again?
This one is, how would you interpret the idea of respecting your husband?
So for me, this is a very tough question because before I got married, the first thing they'll tell you when you speak to, especially I don't say Nigerian because I don't speak anybody else, but African parents, they'll tell you respect. A man eats respect. A man, anything, in fact, everything revolves around respect. For me, interpreting it is trying to, I don't want to say I'm alpha female, but I feel like I'm very strong-headed. Independent. I take pride in being an independent black woman. However, once I got married, I started realizing that respect for a man means you sitting in the back and allowing him to take the wheel. Now, not because you don't like there's sometimes you already know the decision you want to make or you want to take, but because you're married, it's almost like, okay, so babe, what do you think? Yeah. I don't know how to explain that. Like you're trying to give him the.
I think it's kind of more like, kind of what Kat said, like kind of like honoring, like their
exactly,
opinion, their consideration, and all that kind of stuff. Because I think for me, respect is
exactly.
Like again, I think for everybody's really different, but for me, I was very like from university, after university, worked, made my own money, never really had to ask anybody for help. Like, what am I paying for? I have it, right? So I think that again, taking the and it's hard. I think that's something I'm still trying to learn.
To be fair, you already know. Like sometimes what happens is I already know what I want to do.
Thank you.
I could have just gone ahead and do it because but you then now remember. Okay, you have to respect to him or for us would mean, oh, so babe, I'm thinking about this, and then sometimes also playing the blonde princess because sometimes you don't like. What I've learned is that you don't want to be the strong woman all the time, so sometimes you just have to take that back seat and
what's wrong with being strong woman?
because
You get that?
yes, you get tired and it can be interpreted differently, especially when you're married.
You don't need me.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the word. Yes, that's the word.
So you want to provide a space where women can feel like they can be that princess and just be like, okay,
exactly.
So the men want
exactly
the women to trust them enough to allow them to be in that space.
Yes,
and I think that is hard for black women.
I think it also comes for some people like from a financial point of view as well, because like if you are working and you have your funds and stuff, I think at least for me it came off very like I didn't really need to ask for help. And maybe people he's dated previously would ask for different things, so I just felt like he thought like I didn't really need help with anything, and then when I now needed help, like you're a big girl now. The first time I wept, like Jesus wept, like I wept. I was like, so it was just like I think
So just taking the back seat and sometimes playing the blonde princess really works.
Okay, next question here.
Can we ask? What does what do you want when you say you want to be respected?
How do you?
Exactly.
What exactly do you want?
I would defer to my.
To be honest, it's not like kneel down while serving my food. No, it's not all that kind of stuff. But it's just like what you guys have said. Just be involved. You know what you want to do. You're not going to tell me, oh, I want to cut my hair, and I'll be like, are you sure? Like, do you really want to do it? You have your reasons. Then I'll support you. Do you understand? Or no, I want to go and jump in the lake. Okay. It's cold. I don't have a jacket to give you. Like, are you sure? Like to me, you're just checking with me to see another point of view. That's the respect, right? Not anything else. I don't.
So for you, respect means support. So supporting your wife.
Carrying you along.
Yeah, just carry me along. Like don't fully conclude the decision without checking with me. That's what it is.
I think mine is partly that, so that's half of it, and the other part is also trusting that when I decide something for the family,
yes,
I have thought it through. I'm not having to. Now, I'm not saying don't seek those. I'm not saying I should just decide and go, but trusting that if I've made a decision for the family, I have thought it through. I'm not questioning me like I'm going to get approval for what I want to do. So
I think that's it. It's like it's the whole thing with companionship. It's like we're together now, right? So the whole point of being together is, I think, like tied to what I said before, getting the best of both worlds. You on your own, there are choices you could make by yourself on your own, and you'd be fine by yourself, or you have issues and you deal with it by yourself. But now the responsibility is shared. I'm responsible for you. you're responsible for me. So if you're going to make any decision about you, I'm going to be responsible for that decision as well. And I'd like to know that, okay, this is the decision we're making. And I also think about the risks that you probably might not think of. Same as when I'm making a decision. There are things that I'm thinking of, and then you have a different concern or something, and then just being able to talk about it, then the other person sees the other person's perspective, and then you can even end up making a better decision than you would have made individually.
So respect for you is collaborating and compromising.
Compromising where it needs to be.
Collaborating.
Yeah.
So next question here for the husbands. How would you interpret the concept of loving your wife?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good question. Solid.
I take the back seat. I prefer to my senior colleague. I take the back seat. I'm the youngest in marriage. So after them, then.
So loving your wife, yeah. So So I mean, it's hard and difficult at the same time, because especially when in most cases you're coming from different backgrounds. So you first, I think it first starts from, I think one thing I've learned about love is it starts from you and your relationship with yourself. You have to be able, like, the first way to learn how to love is how you first love yourself. Then you think of the things that you want to do to yourself, that is loving yourself. And then you now have to understand what the other person's experience or expression of love is. And then you apply it that way. And so that's the thing, So then that way you're also influencing. So now you're trying to love the person the way
They want to be loved.
the way they want to, the way they need to be loved. But then in my situation, it's a case where, like, it's very different, and most times I don't understand it. But then I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to learn. And then, like, it's a continuous process of learning. And then so that's what it is for me. So it's
I like that he has broken it down. I'll just add on it to say, loving for me is first step accepting who they are. Just accepting them fully 100%. Because I use God's standard to say, look, okay, I've decided I want to love this person. This person is who they are, right?
Yeah.
Take it as it comes. Obviously, don't allow yourself to be maltreated, or take it as it comes. I understand that no matter how your spouse might behave from time to time, at the end of the day, they're not doing it from a place of, they shouldn't be doing it from a place of contempt or bad behavior. It's just everyone is an addition of their life experiences, right? Their experiences. So it's accepting who they are, loving them the way, like you said, they need to be loved, and then seeing how you can help grow them so that they can move from where they are now to a better version of themselves, while also you are getting evolved and moving to a better version of yourself.
I think for me there are different phases. First of all is remember the initial decision you made to love this person and to spend the rest of your life with that person. Every morning,
Like every half hour.
Every morning, every day, every second. Like no matter whatever the situation is, you just have to always remind yourself, like, I chose to love this person, whatever flaws, whatever it is. That's one. Secondly, I'll say, take the back seat. Always. You put the other person first at every point in time. If I have the last $500 and she comes, I want to make my nails $500.
That's what, which nails do I make people?
I'm just giving an example. And I wanted to buy this nice pair of sneakers. I'm gonna have to wait. Right? That is the second one. You take the back seat at every point in time. And I think that taking the back seat comes also when you have a family. You realize that the men are usually the last person to get
gratification.
Exactly. You're always going to put your wife, your kids before you.
Yeah.
So that's the second one. The third one is that one you can say is sacrifice. The third one is communicating. Right? When you love someone, there has to be communication. I'm not going to come back from work and then she's like, oh, today, oh yeah, and then I'm like, okay. And I have no stories to tell. Like, do you understand? Like, the communication builds the bond and builds the love.
Sure.
Over and over and over and over again. So those are like the three main pillars.
Okay.
I want to say something.
Oh,
It's a question.
I love hearing the guy's perspective because I really want to hear the female's perspective of.
Well, let her say what she wants to say. Say what she wants to
I want to say something. Okay, so from what you said now, men mostly deprioritize themselves.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but does it make you feel some contempt or resentment or something?
say. Zero.
Yeah, mature.
It's understandable.
That's maturity.
If you feel that way,
Yeah,
right?
that's mature. A lot of men.
There's many men out there that.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
The only thing that it makes it gives us more drive to do
Speak for
better.
yourself.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Okay, I'm speaking for myself.
That's mature.
It doesn't make me
Speak for
feel
maturity.
like,
Exactly.
oh, I have to punish my. Like, for example, if my wife comes and says, oh, let's do this, right? Or she has to do this for herself, and then she doesn't have whatever it might be. It might not even be money, it might be something else, and I have to sacrifice what I have to make it happen for her. The joy that comes with seeing her happy because you love her overrides any it overrides everything. To be honest, just the joy seeing her, like, she's happy, she's achieving her goals.
Yeah.
It's like watching you nurturing something, like
Baby.
it's like nurturing something and then seeing that thing
That's where the
grow.
MB comes from.
So it doesn't make me feel any resentment. No, I'm more than happy to do it every time. That doesn't mean she come and do it every time.
I think along that same vein, it's also, especially when you have a partner who's matching your energy.
Yes.
Because the way I look at it is, a marriage is only successful if the other person is putting the other person first.
Yes.
And so when you're at the point where it's almost like a competition to, I put you first, you put me first. They're matching your energy. The resentment can't build.
It can.
But if you're at a point where I keep deprioritizing myself and prioritizing you, and then I'm not getting exactly. It will get to a point where, as I say, what I'll pass Gary.
That's true.
But when you're both matching your energies, might not be, it's not a like for like, because like I say, love is never 50-50. Sometimes it's 100-0, sometimes it's 80-20. But they are matching you in a different way, but it's going, coming. I don't think you would ever go to a point where you're like, busy,
100%.
Yeah.
I think they've said it all. I'll just add in my own way. It's like I was saying, you're trying to love them the way they want to be loved, and you're also getting them love you how you need to be loved.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Moving on to the next question here. What are your thoughts on the importance of giving each other space in a marriage? Or how do you guys balance individual freedom within your marriage?
Ladies.
I don't want to say this one, please.
Okay, maybe I'll start. I think it's important to have space in your marriage, and not space necessarily like too much distance, but space in the sense that you have your own hobbies that you both like, you have your own, things that you can do separately, and I think the other person should encourage you in that, but it's just time for you to like do things by yourself. I think it's important to have that, but I think it's also important to share that, to educate the other person on that said hobby or whatever it is that you like to do in your alone time. I think it's good.
I mean, for me, I feel having space is very healthy and it's very necessary. You don't want, like I always say, when I'm talking to when I'm having girls talk with my girls, I'm always saying you don't want your partner, or you don't want to be your partner alone and say everything is just you, because life is just, you don't have any independence. I strongly believe in the guy having his own things, his boys' nights, his things he enjoys by himself with his friends, his family, and also having my own things, my own girlfriends or whatever. Having said that, while you guys have your independent stuff, you should always have something that brings you back together.
Your house now.
activities that bring you back together, so that you don't end up going very far apart because you guys enjoy different things. Because to be honest, most of the times you and your husband would not 100% enjoy the same things, so it's just healthy. But having that, coming back to finding, okay, what do we like together? Maybe watching TV, going on date nights, visiting, whatever. Do you understand? You guys must just always have that, and also have your separate. I feel it's super healthy. You need a separate away time. So yeah.
Anyone else?
I'll say 100% is super healthy, but I'll say that in the same vein, don't use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
the problem.
Don't use it as an excuse, or don't use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
So
I don't get
excuse for anything.
Like, I
So,
need my space, don't
Yeah.
I think I can't go out.
I can, or even excuse for even performing your responsibility. So if, for example, I have boys' night out, and I know this weekend, just a regular example, doesn't mean this is how it works in my house. This weekend, I'm in charge of cleaning. Oh, but you know I cleaned, so that's no.
Oh, I see.
Don't ever use the fact that because you didn't do the same activities as an excuse not to perform your responsibility. It's healthy. Take the time off. You can't always be the solution to your partner's problem.
Lord and Savior.
You cannot always be your partner cannot be the only one that is always there for you.
Yeah.
Right? Your partner, because you are going to overburden the other person. So I have friends for different reasons. I don't have this friend if I need career advice.
Yeah.
You go to him. This friend if it's party, you go to him.
Yeah.
This friend if it's, and I'm sure like it's because you also cannot. The other person doesn't have capacity.
Lord
Doesn't
and
have.
Savior.
Exactly.
So we're all saying the same.
So you still have to enjoy that time away.
Yeah.
But like Tobi said, you need to come back. But also don't use that time away as an excuse. Even as an excuse to cheat. Like you can't use
Oh,
that.
like I like to play soccer.
Yeah.
That's your
Don't use it as an excuse for anything.
It can be very easily like
misconstrued.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, go say something.
I think they've encapsulated everything.
Okay.
No?
No, I agree with what they said, yeah. But I'm also here for the girls that don't have a lot of friends. And well, unfortunately, they have to talk to their husbands about. I understand that, yes, definitely it is healthy for you to have, like everybody should. But I also want to, I'm very big on empathizing with people. Because every time, it's like, there's always the ideal way to do things. But sometimes people haven't just gotten to that stage, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say that it's okay, but yes, it's ideal that you both have your hobbies. And if you're not there yet, try. Get there. Understand that it's important.
Run now.
Okay. So this question for both husbands and wives. Do you guys seek counsel from others or friends? And what do you feel about asking for advice or getting counsel from outside sources?
It's very important because we actually speak about this. You know, when I was getting married, the only advice my grandma gave me, and by the way, she's 97 now, going 100, going to 100, yeah. She was like, marriage, once you decide to get married, it's between you and your husband. You and your husband against every other person. That now becomes your person over every other person. This person you're building your life with. Everything that happens under your roof should remain there. Like, you don't need to, like, it's a different thing, and there's a gray line in between that, because there are a lot of things that happen that you're forced, because you can't speak to others about it, you're forced to communicate, you're forced to look at what works. Because I'm trying to articulate my thoughts. I've seen things happen in a way whereby in Africa they try to put all eggs in one basket. This is how it should be. But when every home is very independent, very unique, so the chances of you asking for advice for someone that has an entirely unique situation might not be so much ideal or very beneficial for your own home. So it is more moving forward or trying to make your home an actual home. It is ideal to actually understand how unique is your home, which starts with the two of you communicating and discussing how you can make it move to how you want it to be, if that makes sense. So I can speak for my own home. We are big on whatever we are saying. Okay, take time off, go and think about it, we talk whatever, and then we come back and we talk about it, like so independent of the outside. We keep everything within the house.
I think it's a balance, and obviously first things first is you should never badmouth your spouse to anyone outside the home. If you want to hash it out with love, but hash it out. But I think it's also very, very important to speak to others that you trust, because I have friends I speak to about stuff that might be troubling me. I need advice. I want to say, okay, I don't feel like I'm the only one experiencing this, because you find a lot of times you talk to someone else and you realize, oh, don't worry, this is the same issue you go with. So I can go to my boys, and there's certain things I can speak to them about. My problems are when I saw them at home, but there might be some things that I just am struggling to get around. I just need a separate point of view, and I would always talk to them. Not from a place of, oh, I'm bad-mouthing my spouse, but from, this is a challenge I'm experiencing. Have you gone through this before? How do you guys handle it?
So with more general things.
What you talk to your boys about?
Yeah, like a general topic that can happen to anybody, or they may have also faced. Nothing very specific to an argument or a situation that you're going.
So, like I said, it's a balance. There will be some things that are just general. There will be some things that will be specific, where it's like, okay, I just don't know what to do right now. And that's what your friends are for. Your actual friends, not people that, not people that are just random that you call friends, which I do that a lot. I just call some cool friends, they're not friends. But people that you actually trust their opinions, you trust where their heart is, and you trust that, their counsel will be good.
My question, where I struggle with that, yes, what you're saying makes sense, but I struggle with that because I feel like people are uniquely different. So, for instance, you go and meet a couple of trusted friends and you relay your problem to them and stuff. They're in a different home, a unique situation, different spouse, and they say, oh, this is how we tackled it and this is how it works for us. And then you try to do that with your own spouse and it's not working, and it now becomes, oh, maybe what the problem, maybe you're the problem, because I struggle with that. I struggle with that because everybody is unique. So what makes you feel that could have worked for them? What makes you think it can work for you? And no matter how you want to look at it, we are all human beings. No matter how you trust someone, the person is never going to be God. There'll still be an atom of judgment. It might not be to your face, it might not even be to, it's just the human nature, because we are not Jesus Christ. There are just some things, and then it just feels to me like just exposing your. I don't know. I do understand exactly. So it just struggle with.
To be honest, I agree with
I struggle with
because this is always my own way of reasoning about it. If you have an issue, you and your spouse, you go to a third party. Guess what? That third party that is trusted has your back.
Yeah.
You are not going to your partner's person to talk about. So that third party has your back and is going to give you a selfish. You don't know it.
It's
Yes.
gonna be a little bit biased.
Yes.
It's your partner.
And then it's just like now she does something wrong to me, then I call my dad or my mom and say, oh, she did da.
And the parents can be so.
They're going to. They don't care. Even if I was at fault, I'm their child. It is me that they are going to support till the grave.
I don't agree with that. First of all, I don't think you should ever bring your parents to this.
Calm down.
Unless matter has passed, guy.
No.
I want to say something before you finish, which is you also have to be careful about who you speak to.
I
have people that, truth be told, like two people that I know that if I tell them something, they will tell me the truth as it is.
Yeah.
The same way if they tell me, I will tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. There will always be that kind of bias.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to know who your actual friends are.
I agree.
And you need to know people that will tell you as it is.
Yeah, that is true.
I agree. So the other thing I was going to say, now you made me just like train of thought.
Sorry.
But the other thing I was going to say is, yes, not all parents are like that, but most of the time, even the parents don't know it.
Yeah.
They subconsciously do that.
Support
But I will tell you this, and this is what we do. We resolve it within ourselves. I think for me personally, the only time when I probably will say maybe we need a third party if water don't pass Gary. AKA I've done or she's done something that we both knew from the get-go it was a deal breaker.
Yeah.
If your partner came, if you break a glass cup, I'm walking out of this marriage. Right? And I've broken that glass cup. Okay. Now that I know that there's no amount of begging
Or talking.
that can resolve this, I'm going to bring a third party. Now that third party
Independent.
is going to be, it's not going to be, I'm also a very practical person. I'm a Christian, but I'm not, there are some situations where I feel like sometimes you need both spiritual and practical. Right? So I just don't need you to come and give me all the Bible verses and say, yeah, the Bible. No, I need that, yes, 100%, but I need practical. So I can get two different unique people that this person is going to give me the Christian, this person is going to give me the practical. In my head or in our head, we can merge both and then see what works best and then figure it out. But if it's not gotten to that point where this is a deal breaker issue, I honestly just feel like it's something we can effectively solve with communication.
Communication,
Yeah, I think I'll rephrase what I said in the sense that you should definitely solve your problems together. But I do believe there's wisdom in when you get to a point where it's almost like there's an impasse.
Yeah.
I would say bringing in a third party to come and solve the problem for you. But like having someone who can say, this is where my head is at.
Yeah.
You know,
or give you counsel.
It's counseling. It's counseling, not being able to solve your problem, but asking them for counsel.
There's benefit from getting perspectives from like outside sources, so you can like see it from different perspectives, and like how you said, you'd go to maybe people different faiths or perspectives to get a bigger picture.
Yeah.
But also there's a barrier of like privacy, judgment, and you need to have that discernment with whoever you're speaking with. When it comes to relationship. Moving on to our last question of tonight. This one's a big one.
The last question from you.
What are your thoughts on divorce?
Something stuck with me from counseling. Our counselor asked us that what would your partner do that will make you say you're done? And we had all these beautiful answers. And she was like, all that is bullshit. There's no such thing. And I was like, what if they harm you, they hit you? And she's like, okay, but you need to know that when it comes to marriage, you're in it. If you get to a point where someone is hitting you, then that's a whole different discussion, but there should be almost nothing I say almost because you have your vows that you've made, but there should be almost nothing that would put you apart. You would have fights, and that's one thing. She was like, look, as long as you're married, I think what I was saying, you have someone who is with you every single day. Like other people might piss you up and then move on. But then you have someone who would get under your skin to the point where you never knew. So you need to have a big well of patience. You need to be able to communicate. You need to make sure that you don't allow things to stew. And you need to always have that mindset of, I believe love is a choice. It's a decision you make. Make that choice every day and find a solution. If you get to the point where you're speaking about divorce, then something has gone wrong way back a long time ago. So for me, I believe divorce is a no-no. Because at least I know that I believe that the person I've chosen and has chosen me, we were aligned in our values. Yes, people will change, but that alignment should always be there as long as we're consciously nurturing it and making it. So for me, divorce is a no-no.
I don't think that counseling. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but then she was also see. I'm a Christian, right? I feel like I can do this a lot. I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Christian like this other person. I'm a Christian, but I may not have gotten to like a certain spiritual maturity. Yeah. But because then she was also saying that even if your partner cheats on you.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
I don't know, but then I spoke to people and they were like, yes, that shouldn't still talk about divorce, that people should figure it out. And I don't know, am I just a millennial?
I think that something should be there different. I think that like maybe in like our parents' generation, those things were very like still very taboo. It was very like what will people say? And I think nowadays people are a little bit more liberated that they feel that there's certain things that they will just not tolerate from another person.
Because they love themselves too much.
Yes.
I get that. I think she was coming from the perspective of like it's like you said, marriage, like you've decided this is what I'm going to do. So even if there's cheating, people sit down and figure it out.
So how do you feel about that?
I was not sure. I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
You should agree with it.
No. sorry I got you, right? And I think it comes from perspective and values, which everybody is saying. But what I think I've come to see over time is understanding the value of words.
Okay.
So it now comes to your marriage vows, what you say and what you understand about them. When you say for better or for worse.
That's exactly what she said.
When you say for better or for worse, you have better. There are people that they're like, this person is now too wealthy, I can't stay with them.
Madam.
To some people,
I wish.
Yeah. Situations like that.
Yeah.
When someone is now too wealthy and
like maybe like the woman is now
too wealthy.
The woman is like those lower and now becomes like significantly higher. I will stay. I'm the top line.
Exactly, it doesn't work for you, but then that now goes to your why did you get married? And then you now see for better and for worse. So now that's about for better situation. Then for a worse situation, I think it comes to a situation, or I think you have to get to that question of what is worse. And you need to align on what your worse is.
Your values.
And if your worse is not really worse enough to last you a lifetime, then
I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yeah. If your worse is not worse enough.
So what is an example of a worse that is not worse enough?
Cheating.
So there's cheating, there's physical abuse,
violence,
there's just information. Like when your wife goes out and just
saying all types of things,
misrepresenting, because everybody, like, you are no longer just yourself.
Our uncle left, so okay. One last question after this divorce talk. So who wants to go?
No, he was talking. Okay.
So for divorce, I feel like it's a card that you shouldn't have in the deck. But if there are like specific conversations you've had and you know what a deal breaker is for your other partner, that will probably warrant a divorce. So for me and my wife, we spoke about these kind of things from the get-go. If you get married today, if you say you're not doing it again, what would I have done? And she said you'd have done this, maybe 10 things, I don't know, or one. And then it's now a thing of if you respect your partner well enough, one. Two, if you put that person first before yourself, then there's no reason why either of us will want to cross that boundary. Crossing that boundary is now like, I dare you. Right? I dare you, go and do it now. So it's going to be completely unwarranted. So again, it's a card that shouldn't be on the deck. As far as you both respect each other and you've had this conversation as to what you can do or what that deal breaker is. That's what I feel.
I think what I was going to add to it is the whole idea, like, it still falls down to what you said earlier, like the putting your partner first. And I feel like every situation that leads to divorce, I can't think of, can't say for everybody, but I don't feel like there is any situation that leads to a divorce where you did something or said something or it was about something that had you putting the other person first. I think that's the real issue. Because if you have things that would cause a divorce, I'm too technical, so I always try to go to the why. Why would something happen? Why would somebody, because every action, every word is a decision. Why would I make this decision? And I always see that selfishness coming like as the, if not 100%, maybe 101%, the reason behind everything that leads to the question of divorce. So if we're able to take out that selfishness, then you probably would never get there. Because what are the things that cause a divorce? Cheating, having
Children.
Having children,
Family.
doing things like things for fun. You're doing something for fun, but it's for your own fun at the expense of your partner.
Imagine gambling your life savings.
I have a tangent, sorry, and this is something you said just made me think about, and it's just a tangent, it's for the ladies. I hear this a lot about having your emergency funds in case things go wrong in the relationship or marriage. What do you guys think about it?
He's starting, God forbid.
That's a good question. But let's finish with the divorce.
Okay.
Because
I'll come back
the reason, I like that question because why are you preparing for something
That was just going to say, that one is a scary.
That whole situation of your money is your money. No, your money is our money, my money is my money.
I don't know that one.
We've actually not spoken financial.
I think those are different things.
There are two different things.
You definitely speak on the
There are two different things.
Definitely, you're going to speak on the difference. For me, I feel like those two overlap a lot in terms of, I'm keeping my money for myself. Because I don't see any other reason for your money is our money and my money is my money.
Just as usual.
You can elaborate on it. But that's the question that I have. And it's not about whether you have the money or not, but just that mindset. I don't understand how that mindset.
Okay, so let me phrase the question.
So let's finish with the divorce. Then
I think we're more or less settled on. So the question I will ask, the question I will ask, and the target I go is, what's your thoughts about finances in marriage?
Okay, approach as how do we share things?
What's your philosophy when it comes to
like the Bible. When you get to say something.
No, I was gonna say that. For me, my approach is, I think that obviously it's a partnership and we should do things together, but I don't believe in like 50-50 down to middle. What if one person is earning 400k and the other person is earning 60k? How are we going to? That's not fair. I think that there are things where you can contribute where you can, but I think that the person who has or who is the higher earner, whether male or female, I don't think it should matter which way, but whoever is the higher earner should contribute more. And I think it's only fair in that sense because the other person also doesn't earn enough to contribute the same.
What if they're both high earners?
Then I think if you're both like the exact same, I think if you're both high earners, I think you both obviously should contribute a good amount.
I want you to keep speaking, but I want to throw a curveball.
Okay.
In terms of, I feel you should go 50-50, but what I believe, or what I think is 50-50 is, both of you have a fixed percentage agreement of your income. So this person makes 100,000, this person makes 10,000. This person is bringing 50k to the home, and this person is bringing 5k to like joint spending. That's what I mean.
No, you guys are missing it. The question was, you asked, what are your views?
I'm telling my views.
And that's what she was explaining, right?
They asked her.
No, her own point of view is 50-50, but in
No.
I don't believe it.
The person that's any your own view is the person that's any most should contribute to the most, regardless of the gender.
Yes.
That's your view.
Yes.
Okay. So
But I mean,
If they're earning the same amount.
If they're earning the same amount, if they're earning the same amount, I still think that the man should contribute more. And back to what Ebuka was saying, about 50-50. When people say 50-50, they don't mean you do this certain percentage. They really mean split it down the middle, half. If the bill is $40, you pay your 20, me, I pay my 20.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, especially in America. I don't think that's right. Even dating, I don't think that's me personally. I don't think that's right. But I think that you both do your capacity that you can do. So if he's paying the mortgage, you're doing light bills and some other things as well. You can also kill the person. How do you want to live to you? So I think that you should also, do the best that you can with the resources that you have, or take on other things that, you might have to spend money on. Maybe do those things by yourself to save in other ways. But that's my version of you're both contributing your best that you possibly can.
Well, I differ. For me, I feel like even the Bible, from what we see, the man should be the provider. So now in this generation, we have a situation whereby, fortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately because I'm a woman, women earn sometimes significantly higher than their partners. But the man should always be the provider, the woman should always be the support. So in a situation whereby the guy loses it, there's some things that are no-brainer to me, like responsibilities. The rent, I'm moving into your house, you must take care of. There are some things that are just static, and in that sense, I'm very traditional. That does not mean that in a situation whereby you're going through stuff, I won't be able, me being somebody, or a woman being somebody that is able to own her stuff does not mean she should be paying the bills that the man is supposed to pay as the provider of the home. So a woman's role as a support is to, in cases where he's unable to, in cases where probably this capitalist world where that maybe he loses his job or something happens, a woman should be able to step in and support her husband. But in a situation whereby it was very foreign to me when I moved to the UK and I hear 50-50, you pay light bill, and I grew up in a home whereby my mother was the support. That's what I've seen. My father was the sole provider and gave the roof over his family. And I think I feel the way the world is moving, it now becomes a situation whereby women are kind of pressured to feel like they need to do half on half. Back in the day, being a provider is the thing of joy and pride. I'm the provider. Even till now, even till even till now, it should be a thing of I can provide for my family. Even in the Bible, the man is the provider. Do you understand? And then the woman should support. And when I say support, while you're earning your own, and that's why I'm putting the disclaimer out there, you should be able to support your husband. For instance, he doesn't have enough money to do certain things that he's supposed to. While you see that he's working towards a situation whereby he's able to afford those things for the family, you can jump in there as the wife and support him, because it's even a thing of you respecting the man. This man can go with his family, because I feel like you have,
but it's also to both your benefits. I hear a lot of times where women are that they want, let's say rent. Now he doesn't have enough money, but she has the money. No, that's terrible. That's why I gave the disclaimer of the man. While the man is the support, you jump in when he's unable to. Not a situation of mindset, because now people take pride. I don't know if it's a woke culture. Me and my husband 50-50. No, that's never. It should be the man is. In fact, the thing of pride and respect. As a woman, just imagine you are paying light bills, rents, and your husband is at home. Regardless of this respect we're speaking about, no matter how you want to respect the guy, I didn't know you don't pay no bills. I beg, don't shout on me like that. It's not me that one, you said behind it.
So you're one of those.
The truth is that we are not Jesus Christ, we are all human beings. It gets to a point whereby your husband is just a couch potato you're not seeing. It's a situation whereby if he's trying, I use it in a situation whereby whereby you can see the progress, he's trying to, that's different. You're having some, not when you're not lounging, and then you're saying my wife is earning 200k. She's one. Of course, you disrespect to enter inside now.
So flip the script. What should happen?
If the
Like
other
if
way.
the woman,
Yeah.
personally, I don't think any woman should see, do whatever, rock your boats, right? But for me, I feel like a woman should always hold down. A woman should always have her own money. A woman should always put in efforts to, just like, because I don't want to even throw shade on any man or whatever, but what a man can do, I feel like a man can do better, especially in the career space. So if like I don't see any gender or this man, the men, exactly, inequality, yeah, in that sense, the two of us, we have a brain. It's not a thing of maybe the special brain for men. The two of us have a brain, we can actually achieve the CEO position. So in that aspect, I feel like I don't support any woman just being, oh, my husband is well to do, let me just sit down at home. Of course you can, as a woman, unfortunately, you need you are forced to have some career breaks. Like when you want to have a child, when you want to do like certain things, groom your children and all those kind of things, you are forced to. But after that, then what? Just sitting at home and just one man just, it's not even safe. If you're looking at a family, it's not safe. Especially in this capitalist world, you need double income. Especially when you start having children. If anything happens to one person, the other person can jump in while the other person is trying. I suppose okay, you're the sole provider, and then something happens. Then what? We'll now move back to Africa. Or you understand? So every woman, for me personally, I think should just try to just invest in yourself, because you can actually compete with these guys. Facts. So you can actually just invest in yourself and ensure that you're bringing in value. Because men, no matter what to say it, men respect women that can hold their own. No matter how they say, oh, we like women, I'll just they definitely, a woman that has value, a woman that can actually, bring in something. But yeah, but that does not mean that you're not the provider of the home. You should always be the support. I'm always happy to but when you need my help, I'm happy to jump in. But not the one you pay lights, I'll pay rent. I'm moving into your home. You should be the sole provider.
You're moving into both of these homes.
No. So what I mean by that is
when you move initially into your
you are leaving your home, then it now becomes your home. Exactly.
Home.
Exactly.
That's what she's trying to say.
Okay, I mean, I'm
now why not that I'm still women?
I'm more of.
And still not letting me to talk.
They say women.
Sorry, don't
I don't really have much.
You must talk.
Okay, I'm just going to say that I think I agree with her with what she said. Obviously, both of you contributing. Who has more money? But then in a situation where we both are both high earners, I still feel like the man should carry a bit more.
So
And it comes
That's anything
to
to add.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I understand where you're coming from. But then, African culture, African tradition, maybe African men ego. I don't know if it's different for a white man, but African men ego is obviously you having the responsibility of your family, or you being the provider for your family is your sole responsibility, 100%. And it is always nice to have a fallback. So that fallback can be one. There are two ways. I always think about it as this. The fallback is one, the man's savings and investments. Two, the woman's income. Those are the fallback. So if there is no fallback, it means if anything happens, everything has happened. Everything has happened. And as we know, in today's world, finance is another top reason for a divorce. So you have to think about that. And then, of course, I always say this, I say this to my wife, I don't care what you are doing. I don't care how much you are earning. Like, I don't mean it like I don't care, not like loosely like I don't care. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what you are doing, it doesn't matter how much you are earning, it doesn't matter, just do something. If you don't want to work 9 to 5, you want to do a business, this is me. How much do you want for the business? Let's start. How much do you have saved up? Let's support this business, let's get it up and running.
Yeah.
Just because it is the second fallback, right? Because it can come to a point, God forbid, anybody can lose their job. You have EI. Okay, how much is EI?
Well, after 5 months is gone.
Yeah, and then how much is EI? You have EI, you still have to support it with savings. And then one day, God forbid, savings dries up. So the last option, you never know how long it takes to get that next opportunity. So the other option is, Madam, how far now?
Money you be putting.
How far? Money you be putting, that emergency fund. This is now that emergency time. So let's dig in. You know, that's how I feel.
I agree with that. 100.
Okay. So, first of all, I believe, whatever works for you, so there's no right way or wrong.
Yeah.
But the first thing for me is we are units.
Yeah.
If we are units working towards a common goal, and if we are working towards a common goal, we are all pitching. Now, and that's what I'm going to steal from everybody.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Everyone has their
Roles.
not roles. Everybody has their what they can bring to the table. It does not mean that if you're bringing more to the table, you're not value adding. No, you just bring what you bring to the table, right? And that's why I also lean to this, what Ebuka said, which is there's your money, my money, and our money.
Yeah.
I sincerely believe that everyone in the family should have their own money. Money that is yours to decide what you want to do with it. But you should also have a common pool. Because you are using your window a goal. Whether it be you want to have your rent paid always, whether it is you want to start saving for kids if you decide to have any, whether it is you want to buy a house, property, a car, vacations, whatever, you have a common goal. So I believe that once you've decided what your common goal is, you both pitch in into that common goal. Still definitely have something for yourself that you decide whatever you want to do. If you decide that you want to be traveling every 3 business days, if it's your own money, go for it.
Okay,
right?
but
with alignment. Let me finish. With alignment, like whatever you don't do your own money, you do it. Obviously, if you're in a partnership that you value, you won't just go and be doing it. You would also like, okay, dude, this is what I'm doing, just letting you know, right? But there would always be a common pool. Now, you guys decide how you want to get put into that common pool. I strongly believe in having like maybe a percentage, which is I might be earning 100k, someone's earning 400k. If we say, okay, put in 50% of your income into the pool, the rest is yours. I think that would reduce any wahala here and there.
So one person paid 50k and have 50k, the other person have 200k.
Again, I'm just whatever you decide you want to do.
But the thing is, my own caveat to what you just said is this. Like, for us, and I'm going to be very exact, we have a situation where your money is your money, that's fine. We have a common goal, that's fine. But it's a situation where, even though from that your money that is your money, when you are taking out of it, if it's above this threshold,
you need to
I need to be aware.
Yeah.
Or she needs to be aware. I'm not just going to be like, oh, shit, there's this Gucci car that I want to buy. Unless the threshold is $200 and the car is 400 and I have the money paid. No. I'm going to show her. First, she might not know. I'll come and first show her, do you like it? And she say yes, it's nice. It's very nice. Yeah, I'm thinking I should buy it. What do you think? She said, but you have end of story. It's my money.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I should be lavish. But first, it reminds me, you've not even won it. You've not even used it. You've not even.
That is why. That is why. Sorry, I'll just think it out of.
Yeah.
That's why your wife should be your imaginary, and that's why I say I feel a woman should work, because the woman somehow indirectly is the husband's emergency fund.
100%.
Because just imagine you guys as because if a man is the sole provider and something happens, there's a lot to fall back to, because the woman has been
trying to
gather it. Exactly. So you will never be in a situation whereby you are running up and down.
Doing it for the home though.
And that's the question I was going to ask, because let's use the example now.
It has to be.
The husband is earning 200k, the wife is earning 200k.
Yeah.
The bills are like 100k, assuming. So are you telling me that?
That's a bad financial.
Hold on. So are you telling me that because he can handle the 100k, he still has 100k. As a wife, you just be looking at him handling that 100k, and your 200k is just entering your pool,
No, that does not make sense. Like, and that's why every family is unique. You guys have to decide what works for you.
What you just said.
Like if it is, for instance, he pays the needs, you pay the wants. Like, oh, want to go on a vacation, you want to do this, you want to. Do you understand? Like he pays, like for instance, okay, I'll explain need and want. Like for instance, he's the guy.
The basic
rent, food. Then I want to go to Japan.
That's the want.
Expect him to be paid. The want. You're not expecting to pay again on that. Do you understand? So as a woman, while you're building the emergency fund for your home, you should be able to pay the wants while he pays the needs.
I mean
that is what.
So in that sense, right, for example.
I'm not even Ebuka, so
okay,
when you're done.
sorry.
When you're done.
Okay, but on top of what you're saying, like, for example, if we're going on vacation, and we have certain things that we want to do. But if there's anything extra that like, it would be really nice if you just upgrade to this or just do this a little bit more. I think that's where you can now step in and do extra.
Exactly.
Extra
as a woman. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like.
So what did you want to ask me?
No, what that situation that you were talking about, you said the
No,
money, like the actual situation.
100k.
I believe, personally, I believe in value. So if I'm making 200k, my wife is making 200k, then I pay the 100k, right? And then she keeps her own 200k, then I have 100k left. I believe that is not. It's not the best. I know it is our money. I know it is our. But I believe that it doesn't help her herself have a sense of responsibility. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So even if it's bring 20k, let me pay the 80k. Just bring it. I don't need it, and you obviously know I clearly don't need it. I can handle it, but it's just to give my partner to a sense of, because you don't want to deprive your partner of that sense of responsibility. Because even though you can shoulder everything, you don't want it to be like. Then she now feels like. So why this man marrying me, sir?
No, like
I don't think anybody
not
think
that
way.
sometimes like you might feel like, oh, like I can't even
do anything to please him,
help
or to please him, or to contribute.
I want to get very confused.
It's like,
So let's everybody keep quiet.
so that
He has been arranging his thoughts.
I'm just trying to
articulate.
I'm just trying to piece it back, but then I still fall back to the same concept.
Why?
Because I understand all this.
That
All
makes
this.
sense when you think about it. Sorry.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Everything like the
why
amount,
did you
right? When you now come to the crux of it, the amounts don't really matter. What matters is why.
Why do you feel like
So now I'm making this much. My husband is making that much. Why should I not be responsible for it?
Yeah.
Because now you've gone from me and you to us.
Yeah.
It's our house. It's our car. It's our children. It's our emergency fund. Why am I not going to take ownership of that? Like it is our own really means it is my own.
Yeah.
It's my house. Why am I not paying for my house?
Yeah.
Why am I not paying for my car? Why am I not paying for my children? Why am I not paying for my education? Right? But then now, when you now look at all these things, what needs, wants, and all those things, they're all just costs. At the end of the day, it boils down to money. How much does it cost us to eat? It is us. It is also me. Why should I not pay my cost as a mature responsibility? That's how much it costs for us. And I'm earning. It's a different thing if I'm not earning.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Yeah. But then emergency fund is part of your living expenses. So if the wife is doing emergency fund, let's know this is emergency fund. So the problem now comes in when I don't mind the situation. For me personally, I don't mind the situation where I'm paying for everything and you're keeping all your money. The problem now comes in, why are you keeping all your money?
Why?
Yes.
As that leads me.
If I'm making money you're earning more than me. I'm taking care of responsibilities. I have enough to take care of responsibilities and still have savings and have investments and all those things. Fine. But then, why are you not paying for anything?
Why?
Now, if you're not paying for anything and then your own money, you're only spending on
yourself.
That's where there's a problem.
If you're spending your own money on us.
If you're spending your own money for us, you're still putting me first.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's rent or food or vacation.
You can do date night.
You can
take your husband on a date.
You buy a bag for yourself.
You're making
You can buy him gift every quarter.
and you're going to go and buy a
You can do
sports car,
something.
or you're flying first class with your girlfriends, or all of those things for your own self.
You can take him on a holiday.
That's actually spot on.
Okay,
So just before you go on, there's a reason why I asked you to have been going around.
Yeah.
And that's to see.
And that's
And that's to see the philosophy each person has of money. Because we've been saying your money, my money. Right? But when you're in a marriage, is it actually your money, my money?
because from all what you guys have said, I've thought like you see that everybody say when we think of it, that might not be because you see the woman is the emergency fund, the woman pays for the wants, the woman. So at the end of the day, is it really your money?
Because personally,
I
own every money she's earned.
Yeah.
And she owns every money I earn.
Simple.
Because.
So whenever I'm going to make any expense, I'm also thinking of how it's going to affect her. If I'm going to buy something, maybe buy shoes or buy trousers, and I need it, I feel like if she also had that money and I had those needs, she was going to spend that same money to take care of it.
Yeah.
The same thing with her. She needs something, she would check it. Like I know life is going to make fun of her. She always looking for sales.
I will bear full price.
But that was before, not now.
I still wear full price, please. Oh my.
But then I come with the whole idea of we can do this, but then let's only buy things that we really need to buy.
Yeah.
And then keep money in a way that you get to a circumstance where you have so much that you buy at your will. And it's very possible.
The truth is that he actually made me financially smarter.
Aww.
Like, yeah, he actually did because before my take on money is almost like it's always before I married him was to always come back. I'm intelligent. I have a job. I always get a job. I have my parents to fall back to. You know, like, do you understand? So even if I buy this on a Chanel purse, the money will come back. Do you understand? Until I got married to him and then he started like, he actually started, I made a lot of, if I sit here and tell you the wrong decisions I've made, big money. Like, wrong, stupid decisions I've made on money because I don't say the value for money wasn't, but
you just didn't understand.
Exactly. So once I got married to him, like he actually taught me a lot of things. Like for instance, how you buy things, how you save. Do you really need that purse, or you want it? Look at all the purses. No, look at all the purses you have. I remember the other day we were talking about it when dollars went to 1,000, right? Yeah, 1,000, and then we're looking at my array of purses and it's like, Tobi, do you know if you should sell this purse? This is almost like 20k now. And I was for real, I was looking at it, I was like, okay, so how many times have you carried this in your dual bag? Maybe 4 times. I said, you even protect them so much. You see, I rather break my ankle and save my bag. Like, you understand? Like, I don't even like these purses are so expensive that you just wear for special occasions.
If you're making 2 million
why are you tying me down your wardrobe?
Spend 20k on bag.
On total cost.
And then you have businesses making you 20k a year.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
But if you're making 100k a year and you have 20k tied down in things that if you even it's 20k because you're using the cost how much you bought it. If you want to sell all those things, you probably won't sell them for up to 9k.
That's what you're saying. It makes sense.
have-
I was not looking at all my purses and I'm like,
Capital tied down in things that are not really adding.
that you don't even use every
I know
day.
you're
You
a
don't
young
use every
person with plenty of potential for compounding interest. Why are you tying down your capital?
To be honest, like
I will not spoil my market.
You get it. That's also my idea.
When I look at certain millionaires,
and I'm just like, I made a
you
lot
see
of
them in their
mistakes
50s and
in the
their
past.
60s, and their wife is wearing gold. He probably is able to make the value of that gold every hour. But now you have to work a whole week or a whole month to buy that phone. Why don't you invest that money and then
To get to the point
spend it
where
when you're making that money
Yeah.
real?
Because at the end of the day, it's just like
It seems like it is far-fetched, but it's also part of like financial knowledge.
Discipline.
It's never taught.
financial
You have
Dis-
to
discipline.
So being financially disciplined is also
And smart.
good. Is part of what everybody should aspire to bring to the table. You might not even need to have a job,
Yeah.
but somebody can give you
Wow,
10,000.
Feel included.
You can, because you're in a country where people have debts that are alarming.
Yeah.
alarming.
And then you don't have a job. So all you need to do is get into that debt and use that debt and pay off the debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the whole financial literacy thing. You can get a job, fine. Everybody gets a job. But the majority of the people are not the wealthiest people in the world. So they did something different. And then you hear people talk about how debt financing. Someone gets a debt and buys a Dior bag. Someone gets a debt and buys Amazon shares.
Yeah.
Give it 5 years, you pay back your debt. You have the shares still earning you
Yeah.
at the same rate to clear off the debt.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like announcing
Okay,
financial
so-
literacy.
So yeah.
I want to say something when he's talking about the why thing here. So I don't feel about it. So if you are both earning around the same range, yeah, and the man can foot the bills. You've said your own why that you want the woman to contribute to, so she has a sense of responsibility. Aside from that, what other why would you feel to?
What otherwise?
Yeah, like what otherwise would you want
there
your wife to
be,
contribute
like,
if you
yeah.
can actually just do it?
Do it.
I think maybe another way can just be so that you don't start to build resentment.
Why are you
And
doing
that's something Tobi said was very interesting, which was I misread the first time he said it. That's why I got my thought process. So, in the point where as the higher earning income, whether wife or husband, you're handling the bills, right? And you have this backup, but then you don't have that capacity so much to address wants because you're addressing needs. But then your partner has capacity to address wants and is addressing those wants.
Yeah.
There's the possibility of then getting to that point where you're like, okay, but I also want to address my wants. But I've taken that responsibility to address needs.
So I'm sacrificing.
So I'm
my
sacrificing my wants. So it's almost like a perception thing. You're like, okay, but yes, I know at the end of the day it's still our money.
Yeah.
But I still want to be able to, quote unquote, also flex.
But what if it's a situation where she's addressing the wants of both herself or of you and your partner, like
So
both of you,
wants.
both of your wants.
I don't think
Yeah, that is how it should be.
That's how
Because
it
he's
should be.
addressing he's addressing the need of you guys. You should be able to address
You
your
want.
wants together. For instance, if we are going for a staycation or a vacation, I wouldn't expect you're paying the rent, then I'll not say bring money for. It's even unfair. If you don't, person doesn't need to be your partner. That's wickedness. Do you understand? Yeah. So
Or
things like that.
maybe he's been talking about how he wants to get a PS5.
A PS5.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I like how you slip that.
Just push it.
I like how you
It
slip
could
that.
be anything. It could be anything. Like
Yeah.
for my last birthday, I was like, I don't want any party. I don't want anything.
And what did I do for
I
you?
want investment.
And then I just want to have an investment.
What did I do for
And I
you?
got a GIC.
Okay, great.
That was a really good one. And that's a situation
something
that
A year before, no. A year before that, he clocked the. Okay, actually.
He clocked an age.
Like, he clocked an age, and I thought because one of my love languages is gifting. Like if all my friends they enjoy that. Like I love people by
I'm
gifting
not a
them.
friend.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Even
why-
I go to total package.
No, do you understand?
Well, it's
Like,
okay.
I enjoy gifting people, and I love the same thing. That's like huge for me. So, and when I gift, I add value to what I'm gifting. Like people I love so dearly, I think what would they like? What would I buy for them that would make them feel valuable? So when he clocks that big age, I was just like, what can I buy for him to appreciate? To show that I really love him and all of that. And I went to Cartier and I got him Cartier sets. So I was so excited. Like I was then, I was in Nigeria. I called my sister. I had to change the money to dollars. I was actually planning a ski trip, but that didn't work because he was like his own. I tried to look at the schedule and stuff. And then so I had to cancel the ski trip. I was like, okay, instead of me just paying on the ski trip expense, then just change it to like something classic, and I got the Kati set. I was so excited. I was in Nigeria, so I was paying it in Naira. I can imagine. I called my sister, my sister made all the arrangement, and then he was so excited on his birthday morning. I was like, oh, I'm so like, oh, exactly. And he was like, oh,
Okay.
thanks. I said, what? And then after a while, he explained to me that Tobi, I know if I got a Cartier for you, I'm sure you would have been
Over the moon.
posted all on your floor, on your floor, like to show you that I love you so much. But I'm sorry, for me, it's just a set. Like it doesn't like exactly. It does nothing for because gifting. While I know that's how you like to be loved and you love people that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do much for me. So now, okay, so what does much for you? And he was like, you see, man, investments, things like that. And then the next year, I'm like, okay, instead of me to waste my money and buy Gucci, Prada, whatever, I might as well just do a GIC for you. And he was that day I was so he was excited. When I gave him the letter, whatever, the investment package and everything, oh, babe, we love you. If after this whatever, I'll show you that. I said to myself, hey, so you can be happy for gifts like this. Oh, thank you. That day this month, like, oh, thank you. I'm finally happy. That's not happening. Please, Penny. Now tell me, where's that catheter? I was cleaning the room. So that he hasn't even opened this. 2 years. This I got this thing upper here for him. It's still wrapped here. A whole Cartier.
Are you selling it?
At this point, buy it and buy it.
So thinking back to what the discussion was, is that at the end of the day, to prevent anything that might build up in the future, it will be good if you have a situation where someone is handling everything. You also, as the person who is building up the emergency and whatever, also look out for their needs or their wants and pay attention and as at where needed, because there's that. I know we talk about ideal condition is our money, but when you have money in your own accounts and when money is that person's account, it's not the same thing. Even though you know you have access to the account, there's that psychology. This money is not in my own account. You understand? So it'd be good when stuff like that happens, as the other partner or whoever you are in the relationship, you are also paying attention to the wants and where is financially reasonable for you people both, because you are still in the unit. You step in and do something.
Just to add one more thing to the story, just to give a bit more context, right? So that, and this is just a context thing. So that year was the year we were moving here. So we were moving here, starting afresh. So it was not just because it was the gift, but then for me it was not the right time and circumstance. If it was a situation where we were already, like if it was now, where there's more balance or more stability, fine. But then in a situation where you're just moving and starting afresh.
AKA next year.
No, it's something you see.
But babe,
that also comes to
babe. I don't think that was the case for me because I could well afford it. Like, No, you can stop because
I've been ready for gold chase.
Well, I hope that you guys found this video insightful, because I know that I did. And unfortunately, our wonderful guest could not get to say thank you to you guys for watching, because somebody, and I don't want to point fingers or call names, but somebody, Mark, cut short our audio so we couldn't finish up. So this is me saying thank you for watching. Please share, like, comment, the whole shebang. Thank you. I appreciate you.